All right, the first thing that we're going to do is try to find the common denominator. Finding the common denominator is something you have to do when you work with fractions. Now, if you have a fraction like this, or a problem like this that says 1/7 plus 2/7, the denominator is the number on the bottom. They're the same. You can see 7 and 7. So when they're the same, that means you can go ahead and add them. You only add or subtract the numbers on top. You leave the bottoms alone. So in this case, 1/7 plus 2/7 would be 3/7. Okay, you really need to find the common denominator there. Okay, now sometimes you have a problem where maybe you have something like 1/4 and you want to add 1/2 to it. Okay, the first thing you should always ask yourself, if they're not both the same denominator, can you turn one of these numbers on the bottom into the other one? And in this case right here, we can easily turn a 2 into a 4. So if you can turn one of the numbers into the other, you don't have to worry about trying to mess with both of them. So in this case, I will turn a 2 into a 4. So what can I multiply 2 by to make that happen? So 2 times 2 gives me 4. Whatever you do on the bottom, you have to do on the top. So I'm going to do times 2 up here, and I'll rewrite my fraction. So in this case, I'm going to have 1/4 plus 2/4, because I did the math and rewrote it, and 1/4 plus 2/4 equals 3/4. Okay, but then sometimes when we work with fractions, we don't have a common denominator for either one, and we can't turn one of them into the other. So for instance, if I have 1/3 plus 1/7, I can't turn a 3 into a 7. I can't turn a 7 into a 3. So I have to find what their common denominator is. Now, one thing you can do, you could always just multiply these two numbers together. They have to have that number in common. Another way you can find the common denominator, not just for this problem, but for other problems, you can do what we call the LCM, or lowest common multiple, least common multiple. And we just make a little T-chart, 3 and 7, and then we're going to skip count. Okay, so if I skip count by threes, I'll have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, and so forth. If I skip count by sevens, then I'll have 14, 21. Oh, well, let's see, I already have one I have in common. So I have 21 and 21. So that's going to be the common denominator for 3 and 7, which is also the LCM of 3 and 7. That's why knowing LCM can really help you find a common denominator. So if I go back up here, I want to turn these into 21s. So 3 times what gave me that? 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so 3 times 7. Whatever you do on the bottom, you have to do on the top. So times 7. And then 7 times what gave me 21? Times 1, times 2, times 3. So times 3, whatever I do on the bottom, I have to do on the top. Okay? I'll rewrite these. So now I have 7 over 21 plus 3 over 21. I can add them now because they have the same denominator on the bottom. And you keep the denominator the same, just remember you add the numbers on top. 7 plus 3 is going to give me 10. Keep the denominator the same, 10 over 21. Okay, so this is how you find common denominators. The easiest way, if you can't think of it in your head of a number, do the LCM. Skip count until you find the first number they have in common, and then you know the number you could be looking for on the bottom. Okay, thank you.